Today, we're taking a closer look at a really interesting spot up in the Colorado mountains, the Buffalo Creek Gun Club, and its home, the historic Camp Fickes shooting range.
That's right. It's a place with quite a story, isn't it? We've been digging into what makes it tick, its history, its mission today, the community around it.
Yeah, and our aim here is really to, unpack that for you. Whether you're already a keen shooter, maybe looking for somewhere new, or perhaps you're just curious about firearm safety, training, or even local history and community projects.
Exactly. We want to give you a good sense of what Camp Fix and BCGC offer, why you might check out their website, that's BCGC US, maybe plan a visit, or, even consider joining or supporting them.
So where do we start? The history seems pretty foundational.
Absolutely. You really have to understand the heritage. Camp Fix isn't just some new facility. It goes way back. It actually started life as a U.S. Army rifle range in 1918.
Wow, 1918, that's significant. So soldiers trained there?
They did. Right through important periods,
Yeah.
including World War II. You can almost feel that history when you think about it.
And the name Camp Fickes. There's a story there too, isn't there?
There is, and it's quite poignant. It's named for Lieutenant William P. Fickes. He was tragically killed on site by a lightning strike back in 1937. Naming the camp after him was, well, seen as a fitting memorial, honoring his service in a place he apparently really enjoyed.
A piece of living history then. So it served the military, and then what happened? Did it just sit unused for a while?
Pretty much, yeah. Like a lot of these places, it fell quiet after its military use. It wasn't until 1960 that it was sort of rediscovered, and that led to its next chapter.
Which was the gun club.
Exactly. Ed Harvey founded the Buffalo Creek Gun Club, BCGC, in 1961. He got an early permit from the U.S. Forest Service, the USFS, and that's key because the range is actually on Forest Service land. That relationship with the USFS is really central to the whole operation.
Right, connecting it to public land stewardship as well as history. So what's the club's main focus today? What's their mission?
Looking at their core documents, their bylaws and things, it's very, very clear. It boils down to education. The stated purpose is all about teaching, aiding, advancing, basically promoting the safe and proper handling and use of firearms for anyone interested.
That focus on education and safety sounds paramount.
It absolutely is, and the way the club is set up reflects that. BCGC isn't a commercial venture. It's structured as a member-run 501c3 nonprofit organization.
Ah, a 501c3. That's important.
It really is. It means all their efforts, any money raised, it goes directly back into that educational mission, maintaining the range, improving things, not towards profit. And, for people thinking about supporting them, that nonprofit status often means donations can be tax deductible. That's a plus.
Definitely underscores that community service and safety focus. So let's talk more about safety. You said it's fundamental. How does that look in practice at Camp Fix?
Oh, it's non-negotiable. Safety is the core principle. The range operates under a clear set of range rules. These aren't just suggestions. They lay out the absolute must-dos for a safe, secure, and, importantly, a fun environment for everybody there. Members, public, everyone.
Can you give us an idea of some of those key safety rules?
Sure. One big one is the cold range concept. Basically, unless you are right there on the firing line ready to shoot, firearms are not to be handled, period. They stay unloaded, actions open, maybe cased or bagged.
Okay, so strict handling rules.
Very. Then, when the range goes hot, meaning shooting is active, everyone needs proper eye and ear protection. That's mandatory. And firearms only handled on that firing line, always pointed downrange towards the targets.
A very controlled environment then.
Precisely. And maybe one of the strongest safety features is that anyone on the range has the authority and actually the responsibility to call ceasefire immediately if they see anything unsafe.
Anyone, not just a range officer.
Anyone. If you see something, you yell ceasefire. Everything stops dead until the issue is checked out and the range officer clears things to resume. It really fosters a culture of shared responsibility.
That's a powerful safety measure. It sounds like they're always looking to improve safety too.
Yes, they are. Continuous improvement is part of the mindset. There have been talks and steps towards putting in special containers just for unfired rounds or duds that people might find on the ground. Seems small, but it helps keep the range tidy and removes potential risks.
And we should probably mention the location itself. It's beautiful, but it's also pretty far out, right?
It is remote.
Yeah.
And that's another huge reason why those safety rules are so rigorously enforced. If something were to happen, emergency services could take quite a while to get there. So following every rule isn't just, bureaucracy. It's genuinely vital for everyone's safety when help isn't just around the corner.
Right, absolutely. Critical context. Okay, so we've got The history, the nonprofit mission, the intense focus on safety. How does someone actually use the range? Is it members only?
Good question. And no, it's definitely not members only. That's important to stress. Camp Fix is open to the public. They want the public to have access to a safe place to shoot.
Okay, so when can the public typically go?
Well, the main public access season usually runs from Memorial Day weekend through the last weekend in October.
Hmm.
During that time, it's open Saturdays and Sundays from 9 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon.
So summer and fall weekends, just show up between 9 and 4.
Pretty much, yeah. But they've also made it accessible outside of those times. What if you want to shoot on a Tuesday, or maybe it's January?
Right.
Public shooters can actually register and pay for access online through the website BCGC US. That covers weekdays or times outside the main staffed season, gives people a lot more flexibility.
That's great. How does the payment work for public shooters? Day passes?
Yes, based on day passes. They have
Yeah.
an adult day pass rate and also a family day pass option.
And I think I saw something about discounts.
You did. They offer discounted rates on both the adult and family passes for active and retired military members and also for first responders. It's a nice way they acknowledge and appreciate their service.
Definitely. So, okay, you get there. What's the range actually like? What kind of shooting facilities do they have?
It's a pretty large area, about 47 acres, and it's laid out with distinct zones for different kinds of shooting, which is really important for safety.
Tell us about those zones.
Well, first there's the short range. This area has lanes with berms. Those are the earth backstops set up for pistol shooting and also for rifles at closer distances. You've got firing lines at 25, 50, and 100 yards there. Great for handgun practice or working on rifle fundamentals.
And what about longer distances for rifle shooters?
For that, they have the Jim Star Long Range. This section has dedicated lanes specifically for longer range rifle work. There are set shooting positions at 200 yards, 300 yards, and clear out to 600 yards. So if you're into precision rifle shooting, that's where you'd head.
Having those separate areas must allow them to host quite a few different types of activities.
Oh, absolutely. BCGC is a real hub.
Yeah.
They run a lot of competitive shooting matches during the year. These are fantastic ways to, test your skills and learn in a structured way.
What sorts of competitions do they host?
It's quite a variety. You'll find IDPA matches, that's International Defensive Pistol Association, focusing on practical shooting skills. They also do Steel Challenge, super fast-paced shooting steel targets. There's 22 bench rest competitions run by the Civilian Marksmanship Program, or CMP, which has that historical connection to marksmanship training.
Okay.
NRA high-power rifle matches, and even a precision rifle league.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of different disciplines are represented.
That's a diverse lineup. And beyond competitions, you mentioned training earlier.
Yes, true to that educational mission we talked about. They offer training opportunities for different groups in the community, things like scout troops, church groups, schools sometimes, and very importantly, training for first responders too. Giving them a safe, controlled place to train is a big part of their contribution.
It sounds like for people who start using the range regularly, maybe for public shooting or these competitions, or who just really connect with the club's mission,
Yeah.
becoming a member is the logical next step.
It really is. Membership is sort of the core of the club. It supports everything they do. And if you are interested in joining, all the details, the application, it's all right there on the website, BCGC US. Pretty straightforward.
Is there an orientation for new members?
Yes, and that's a key part of joining. New members go through a new member orientation session. It's not just paperwork. It's really about making sure everyone understands the specific range procedures, the rules in detail, and just gets familiar with how things work there. You can find the schedule for those on the website too.
Being a member or even just a regular visitor sounds like it's more than just having a place to shoot. There's a community feel.
Definitely. We've heard people describe it as their happy place. It's where folks with that shared interest in shooting sports can connect, form friendships, support each other. You see that camaraderie at the events, but also during things like volunteer work days, where members pitch in together to maintain and improve the place.
That community spirit must show up in other ways too, like people helping out the club.
It does. You see real tangible support. We know of instances where people have donated significant equipment that directly helps the range's operations and safety. Things like donating a fire truck or providing lots of fire extinguishers, given the remote location. Things like that are hugely valuable for safety. It shows people are really invested.
Right. And all these things keeping the place running year-round, the safety upgrades, the events, and looking towards improving facilities, that all takes funding, doesn't it?
It certainly does. The money that comes in from membership dues, the public shooter fees, donations, It's all absolutely vital. That's what pays for the constant upkeep of, 47 acres of grounds and buildings. And crucially, it's what allows them to plan and hopefully execute expansion projects.
You mentioned the relationship with the U.S. Forest Service before, since it's on their land. How does that tie into any expansion ideas?
It's a very close partnership. BCGC has to work hand in hand with the USFS for any development.
Hmm.
And actually, there's been some really positive movement recently on the expansion front, which is great news for the club and everyone who uses the range.
Oh, what kind of expansion are they looking at?
The main focus right now is on plans for a new 9-bay pistol range. This project seems to be moving forward quite well with the Forest Service. It's apparently an updated plan, kind of refined based on ground truthing from maybe larger initial ideas. Yeah. And a big milestone, an environmental impact statement, an EIS, related to this expansion work was completed, and it got good marks. Basically, no major environmental red flags were found, with the plans to create more safe shooting opportunities there.
Getting a positive EIS, that sounds like a really significant step.
It is, and it actually positions Camp Fickes within a wider strategy. It's seen as a really important part of a collaborative effort between the USFS and the state of Colorado. The goal is to ensure there are safe, designated places for the public to participate in target shooting. BCGC at Camp Fickes is one of the key ranges in what they call the Integrated Management of Target Shooting Initiative for the Pike National Forest.
So supporting the club contributes to that bigger picture for safe shooting access in Colorado.
Exactly. It's not just about one range. It's part of a larger solution.
Okay, so let's say someone listening is thinking, this sounds like a great place and a worthy mission, I'd like to help, but maybe joining as a full member isn't feasible right now. Are there other ways to support BCGC?
Yes, definitely. The club appreciates support in many forms. One really easy way that costs nothing extra is their Shop to Give program. You can find the link and info for it clearly on their website's navigation bar again, BCGC US.
Shop to Give, how does that work?
It's pretty clever. Basically, you sign up, and when you shop online at participating retailers, and a small percentage of your purchase gets donated back to BCGC by the company, it doesn't cost you a penny more. You just do your regular shopping, and the club gets a little bit through corporate generosity. And it's not just for members. Anyone, friends, family, can sign up and designate BCGC.
That's a fantastic, almost passive way to contribute.
It really is. Another option is buying official club merchandise. They have things available, often through online platforms like Bonfire. Buying a t-shirt or a hat, it shows your support visibly, and the proceeds go directly back into funding the club's work.
Good options. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into Camp Fickes and BCGC, let's just circle back quickly to something you stressed early on, these range rules.
Yes, absolutely worth repeating. There's a comprehensive set of range rules for a very good reason. They are the bedrock for ensuring a safe, secure, and positive experience for absolutely everyone who uses the club in range. Understanding them, following them, it's not optional. It's fundamental to participating there.
And the single best place to find everything we've talked about, the full rules, details on public access, membership info, how to join, the calendar events like competitions and work days, all the support options like Shop to Give, it's all on their website.
That's the hub, bcgc.us. Everything you need should be there.
Okay. So the invitation to you, our listener, is pretty clear then. Check out the website, BCGC US. Consider planning a visit to see the historic Camp Fickes range for yourself. Learn about using the range, maybe becoming a member, or finding ways to support their mission.
Yeah, it really is about more than just shooting. It's about promoting safety education, fostering that community spirit, preserving a unique piece of Colorado history, and actively contributing to the future of safe recreational shooting in the state.
And thinking about all that, the military origins, the nonprofit educational focus today, the community that keeps it going, the plans for the future, it does make you pause and consider the bigger picture, doesn't it? What is the real value of having these dedicated, well-run, safe places like Camp Fickes for people to engage in shooting sports? How do spots like this, that combine building individual skills with community responsibility and historical awareness, really fit into our broader landscape of outdoor recreation and skill development today?
That's a really interesting question to think about.
Indeed it is. Well, thanks for exploring Camp Fickes with us on this deep dive.